تريد أن تجادلني؟ دعنا نتجادل الآن. هل محمد يمثل المثل الأعلى للمسلمين أم لا؟ محمد نبي الإسلام،
أنت ماذا تعتقد؟
هل قتل محمد يهود خيبر أم لا؟ قل لي لماذا التحريف؟ يجب أن يكون المسلمون صريحين مع أنفسهم ومع العالم. محمد المثل الأعلى للمسلمين قتل يهود خيبر، وقتل يهود بني قريظة وبني النضير، وقتل نساءهم وسبى، وقتل أطفالهم وسبى نساءهم. يعني هذا هو المثل الأعلى للمسلمين.
أنت مشكلتك مع التاريخ وليس مشكلتك مع الحاضر إذن.
أنا مشكلتي مع محمد ومع إله الإسلام. هذا النبي.
The Quran commands, Allah said, any person who leaves Islam or encourages others to do so should be seized and slain. Allah told Muhammad that all those who opposed his message should be killed, or they should be nailed to a tree with their hands and legs should be cut off. The Quran teaches when you meet or fight those who disbelieve, strike at their necks till when you have killed and wounded many of them. You're supposed to kill the heretics if they don't believe in the Quran and Allah. The third surah, verse 105 and 106 says, in the great and final day of redemption, only white faces will be saved, all blackened faces will be condemned. This is what they teach, okay? They say, men, marry as many women as you like, 1, 2, 3, or 4. Under Islam, you can have up to 4 wives at a time, and if you want to have temporary marriages, you can get married for 15 minutes. That's pornography is what it is.
أكدت وما زلت أؤكد أن مشكلتي ليست مع حركة حماس، ومشكلتي ليست مع المسلمين، مشكلتي مع إله الإسلام ومع نبي الإسلام.
The face of Taliban justice. This is 19-year-old Bibi Aisha. Her own husband cut off her nose and ears. Forced into marriage at 16, she ran away from a life of abuse, but was caught. After trial by the Taliban for bringing shame to the family, this was the punishment.
أين يدعو الإرهاب القرآن؟
نعم، اذهب إلى سورة التوبة الآية 5 والآية 29. المشكلة أن المسلمون لا يفهمون دينهم. أنا أدعو المسلمين أن يقرأوا قرآنهم وأن يفهموا قرآنهم أولا قبل أن يقولوا أن الإسلام هو دين السلام ودين الرحمة.
طيب أنا سأتي.
إله الإسلام، شخصية إله الإسلام تدعو إلى قتل كل شخص غير مسلم. إله الإسلام يدعو إلى قتل اليوم.
In June 2007, Hamas toppled the Palestinian Authority in a bloody coup. Several months later, radical Islamic entities began murdering innocent Christian civilians within the Gaza Strip. The first victim was Rami Ayad, a young man in his 30s and a father of 2 who worked in the church organizing charitable activities. Following his murder, members of Hamas desecrated his body and cut him up into pieces.
What I'm saying, that the biggest terrorist is Allah of the Quran, the God of the Quran, the God of Islam.
You are going to make millions upon millions of Muslims very, very angry.
What does the word Islam mean?
Peace.
Well, I think it's a false premise to assume what they say is peace really is peace.
Islamic apologists in the West will say Islam means peace.
It's like the communists said, we want peace, a piece of this country and the piece of that country, and put it all together.
But the Arabic word Islam, from aslama yastaslimu istislam, the root word of the word Islam means submission or surrender to the will of Allah.
There is Dar al-Islam and Dar al-Harb. It's either Islam or the sword.
They are an angry minority. Their goal, nothing short of Muslim domination of the United Kingdom, if not the world.
This poster is basically showing how we will transform Buckingham Palace into a local mosque for the Muslims.
And what happens to the Queen?
Well, the Queen, she has a choice. She can either become Muslim or she can leave the country.
A chaotic scene unfolds in Dearborn as demonstrators break through barricades and move toward controversial pastor Terry Jones.
He was in town to preach against radical Islam and stand up for freedom of speech.
count as innocent people.
As far as Muslims are concerned, you're innocent if you are a Muslim, then you're innocent in the eyes of God. If you are non-Muslim, then you're guilty of not believing in God.
إذا عصت زوجها في الفراش، وقال عليه الصلاة والسلام: إذا دعا الرجل امرأته إلى فراشه فأبت فلم تأتي فبات غضبان عليها لعنتها الملائكة حتى تصبح.
ولا بد أن نعلم أن الضرب عقوبة شرعية لا يملك إنسان أن ينكره، لأن الذي شرعها هو الذي خلق هذا الإنسان.
حتى في الحرب، يعني حرب المسلمين أحسن من سلم هؤلاء الكلاب.
واضربوهم. في هذه الآية إعجاز.
ولنا في رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم قدوة حسنة، حيث عقد على زوجته عائشة وكان سنها 6 سنوات وبنى عليها، يعني دخل عليها صلى الله عليه وسلم 9 سنوات.
6 سنوات.
لا، عقد عليها وهي 6
وتزوجها.
يعني العقد في 6 والبناء اللي هو الدخول في 9 سنوات. ولنا في رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم
نعم
أسوة حسنة.
And they will kill Jew or Gentile or anyone who refuses to accept their philosophy.
Allah is very tolerant, and He is inviting the non-Muslims to His religion, Islam, because what Allah is saying, if you don't accept Islam, then you will have a very painful punishment forever after your death.
And shouldn't we be loving the Muslims like our neighbors?
Oh, I love the Muslims. I'd love to lead them to Christ, but I don't want them coming to my home and cutting off the heads of my children. There's not very much at all holy about Muhammad. He was a very evil man. As a matter of fact, I think much of the Quran was inspired by the devil himself.
عندما وضعت القرآن والأحاديث والكتب الإسلامية تحت عدسة مجهري، توصلت إلى قناعة مطلقة: لا يمكن أن يقرأ إنسان السيرة النبوية لمحمد ويؤمن بها ويخرج إلى الحياة إنسانا سليما معافى نفسيا وعقليا. أنت تذكر الطريقة التي قتل بها السيدة عظماء بنت مروان عندما قطع أتباعه جسدها إربا وهي ترضع طفلها، والمشكلة عادوا إليه يكبرون فقال: لا يتناطحوا بها عنزان. أنت تعرف أن الماعز تتناطح لأتفه الأسباب، ولكن عند محمد قتل امرأة مرضعة سبب أتفه من أن يتناطح به عنزان. هل هذا نبي من عند الله؟
Did Muhammad the prophet? He's not prophet. You know why? Not because he's not prophet regarding to the Bible, because he's a prophet without prophecy. Can you believe that? Like, Muhammad claims that he's a prophet, and he died before he told his people the prophecy. Ask. Prophecy conference, huh? Prophecy conference. And we're talking about prophecies, and we know what prophecy means. And we ask any Muslim, what's the prophecy of Muhammad? They will not have an answer. And by the way, they never thought of that. They just call him a prophet. A prophet without a miracle. You know what's his miracle? He flew on a donkey from Mecca to Jerusalem in the dark, during the night. And the donkey was the only witness. We tell them, guys, you know, usually the prophets and like Jesus Christ, he did miracles in the front of thousands of people, you know, to witness the glory of God and the great work of the Lord. But your prophet did the miracle, this great miracle of, like, imagine like a donkey taken off from LAX. Like, you know, if there are like 5,000 people witnessing that, I would say, okay, this is a miracle. But unfortunately, in Muhammad's case, the donkey was the only witness.
Because we have to remember Christ. We have to remember Christ. We're not supposed to be talking about Muhammad. The same way we don't talk about Isaiah, Jeremiah, or any of the prophets. We talk about Jesus Christ. The Spirit of truth, which is the Comforter, would teach of our Lord and Savior.
Very few people realize it was the Catholics that started Islam. They started the whole religion purposely to try to get the Holy Land back for the Catholics. They built up the Islam, they funded Muhammad, they trained him, they sent a Catholic nun out of the monastery. They said, we want you to come out of your convent, go find a young promising Muslim, marry him, and train him to raise up an army of Arabs to go take back the Holy Land for the Mother Church. Quite an interesting story if you want to read about that. It started to work, but then it failed because Islam got so big, they said, well, forget you Catholics, we're doing what we want. And I don't think most Muslims, which is now, what, 10–20% of the world population, Islam, I don't think most of them know that they really started off as a front for the Catholic Church. So let's cover just a little bit on Muslims. Ask the Muslims, how do you know, how do you know Muhammad was a prophet? Allah commands any person who leaves Islam or encourages others to do so should be seized and slain. There are over 100 commands in the Quran to kill people who won't convert. Anybody that won't convert has to be killed. And I see Bush and these guys saying, we're trying to bring democracy in Iraq. The problem with Iraq is their religion. They are being taught every couple days in the synagogue, you've got to kill anybody who won't convert. And there probably are millions of Muslims who don't like this and they don't want to do that, but in order to be a good Muslim, you have to kill anybody else who won't become Muslim. That's the rules, okay?
I hated the gospel of Jesus Christ. I despised the gospel. I felt the gospel was not just foolishness. I would say the gospel was stupid. I thought I was doing the work of the Lord. I thought I was on the Lord's side. I thought I was on God's team by blaspheming Jesus Christ and by denying the cross of Jesus Christ. See, I used to pray as a Muslim 5 times a day.
Hi, my name is Giselle Katri, and I am a former Muslim and a current Christian.
It seems like everywhere we look or every place we hear, Islam is the fastest growing religion. It's almost frightening for those of us a little older looking at a young generation. I almost, from the news, I want to look at the younger generation and say, you might be living in an Islamic state in this country in another 70 years or 60 years. Europe talks about how Germany mentioned 30 years will be an Islamic republic. France is having trouble with the huge number of the growth rate of Islam. How do you see the future of Islam and relative to Christianity?
Yes, first of all, let me tell you that fear not. Fear not, brother. The devil looks and sounds strong sometimes, but I tell you, he's not. He's weak. And I know that you believe in this. I know that you believe in that, and we all believe in this. But I mean in the Islam as a religion. Yes, it's growing, big deal, but it's empty. It has nothing to offer humanity. And Islam maintained itself and protected itself for 1400 years and more by fear, intimidation, and isolation. And I tell you, this is over.